Intro music.
A star for the ages for Tony Gwynn, number 3,000.
And the ball game is over. The series is over. Welcome to San Diego.
My name is Joey,
My name is James.
and this is the Brothers Padre.
And in this special episode, right before the season starts, Joey and I are going to offer our predictions, not about the Padres, because let's face it. What are we going to say? Oh, we want to go to the World Series. We know our Padres predictions. We know the MVP is probably going to be between Soto and Machado. We know the Cy Young candidate is going to go down to Snell, Musgrove, and Darvish, and possibly a Honeywell. But what we're going to talk about now, did you know there are 29 other teams in Major League Baseball, including the Dodgers, even though they shouldn't be allowed to even exist?
Wow.
We're going to make predictions of all the other 29 teams, and I don't know how many other players, because I don't care. They're not in Padres uniforms. So, buckle in, folks. We're going to talk about our expectations of other teams.
Yep. It's like what Charles Dickens once said. You've got to get great expectations to be good at anything.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that, and you did not disappoint with the lameness. It was, woo, whoa.
Okay, I'll start, James. I got a red hot one. Who, James? Who is going to have a worse season? You ready for this?
Okay.
The Chicago White Sox or the Cincinnati Reds? Now, there's an obvious answer, but I actually think it's a real answer.
The obvious answer is the Reds.
Right.
But the Chicago White Sox have the ability to implode. Like a flan, just like phew.
Yep.
And if they implode, it's going to be beautiful. Will Myers and the Reds, so I'm going to go with the White Sox.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about this the other day. The Reds are kind of not the punching bag of the NL Central, but kind of definitely are. But
Yeah.
The White Sox, man, they really have like incredible expectations. And I just feel like for teams so distinctly different, I feel like it's going to be more disappointing to be at White Sox because it's just that team is so talented. It's like if a 2021 Padres just for a team for 5 years.
Exactly.
And that's what the White Sox are. That's my prediction. The White Sox will be worse. Just share with you. I'm sharing your same opinion. So,
Because every game the Reds will win, they will cherish.
yeah.
Because every game they win, they shouldn't have.
Right.
Oh, man.
Poor Joey Votto.
Poor Joey Votto. Poor Mike. Poor Will Myers. Oh, man. Okay, Joey, here's my prediction.
Okay, you ready?
What team do you think out of the top tiers will be the most disappointing? Will have an epic collapse.
Okay. And top tier, let's just say Astros, not White Sox, Yankees,
Mets, Braves, Phillies.
Padres now, Dodgers,
Blue Jays.
yeah.
Basically everybody on the East Coast.
Yeah, I wonder. I do think the biggest my prediction for the biggest collapse, I think it's gonna be. I do wonder if this is like. I don't know if it's a hot take or not. Maybe it isn't, but like, I do wonder if like the Blue Jays like have 100-loss season because
Wow.
and that's like I don't want to be rude. We're starting 2 downer predictions here, but it does seem like that core of players should be really, really good. But that pitching, I don't know. I feel like Bassett, the Gosman's on that team, Kikuchi's now on it. I feel like those are just guys that aren't. They don't have like a guy. Alex Manoah is good, I guess. I just feel like they don't have that kind of like they play in a brutal division. The Yankees and Red Sox, well, Red Sox not so much anymore. The Yankees and the Rays will give you a hard time any day of the week.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they didn't really impress me last year, like to be that upper echelon of team. And I just think they might not have a great season. I think that Bo Bichette hasn't figured it out. I feel like I don't know. They got Dalton Varsho this year. Yeah, if of those teams, I would say the Blue Jays. That's probably the most disappointing.
This is where we first disagreement. I think the Blue Jays win that division.
Wow.
I think
You think the Hobbit Dalton Varsho takes him to the promised land?
No, I think
Hobbiton, so to speak.
the Yankees have gone over their skis.
Ooh.
Half their starting rotation is hurt already.
Yeah.
They haven't even pitched a single game in this regular season.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that if the Yankees, I have a feeling they're going to implode. I think we're going to see Garrett Cole.
Yep.
He's going to have a lot of screaming, crying fits on TV. It wasn't my fault. The air was slightly moist. And have you ever tried to throw a ball when the air was moist? Oh my goodness. The guy who sung the national anthem was nasally. Oh, Billy Crystal ruined the game. One of those three things was true that he whined about. Look it up.
That's interesting.
Throwing a ball is hard. Give us something to help us throw a ball. I hope he fails.
Wow.
But I think in the American League, they're the most likely team to have just like, because every year the Yankees have such high expectations, but this year they have so many question marks. They have a 21-year-old rookie being their starting shortstop. Never played above single A. I actually don't know what level he's played at. I just made that stat up.
It was double A, but we get it.
Okay.
You're fine. The vibe is right.
The vibe is right. I think like they spent a ton of money on Carlos Rondon, and if he has a injury that is the injury that happens right before you have Tommy John. Garrett Cole is a whiner baby. And again, and Montaz is hurt. They just lost another starter. I think their team is going to fall apart, and it's going to be glorious.
Wow,
that's my team. And I think the Blue Jays might sneak in and win that division because the Rays are always going to be a wild card contender, nothing more than a wild card contender.
Question for you, James.
Okay.
Will the Diamondbacks steal every base this year? All the time? That's not really a question. But who do you think... I'm making you answer this question by coercing you with a joke. But, like, do you think that the single season, like, team stolen base record might be threatened?
By the Diamondbacks?
Yeah.
They're very...
Especially the modern stolen base record, post-2000.
Okay. No. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I think the Padres will have more stolen bases by the end of the year.
That is a hot take.
Than the Diamondbacks.
That's a legit hot take.
And the reason why that is because the Diamondbacks still have to get on base to steal bases.
That's a good point. It's a good point, actually.
Yeah. That one kid of theirs...
Corbin Carroll.
Corbin Carroll is a great player, but he hit like 220 last year.
I don't want to be rude to Corbin Carroll. I don't mean to interrupt you, but he does have like a Don Quixote vibe, right?
He really does.
He looks like he's like in 17th century Spain.
He does. He needs a rapier and a cape.
Yeah,
and a rakish hat.
I haven't seen a human like that in real life, and he's a real person.
Like, you ran out of central casting for the next Three Musketeers movie? Who are you?
It's a very funny looking. He's a perfectly fine looking man, but it was funny that he but he looks kind of like
his
that.
face belongs in a different century.
Yeah, it does.
But like I said, he still has to get on base.
Yeah.
All these young, speedy Diamondbacks still have to get on base. No doubt when they get on base, they're going to steal bases.
Yep.
But they have to get on base.
Yep. Okay.
So I don't think that. I think, again...
You think the Padres have more stolen bases?
Soto's going to have 30 bags. Tatis is going to have 40 bags.
Jesus, jeez Louise.
Kim's going to have at least 20.
Oh, at least 20. At least 20.
Machado's going to have at least 15.
Okay.
So's Bogarts.
Okay.
Cronenworth is going to have at least 15.
Okay.
Nelson Cruz is going to have 2.
Okay. Nelson Cruz is going to have 2. That's... Well, okay. This is not a betting line. This is just...
I was going to say, I'll bet you all the money I have that Nelson Cruz has 2 stolen bases by the end of the year.
Oh, my goodness. I can't even tell you how many stolen bases Manny had last year.
I think he had 11.
9. So
That was close.
He just... Okay, Dan, hit me.
All right. This is a bit of a low blow, but which team do you think made the fewest improvements?
Oh, that is a very low blow. But there is an answer. It's the Colorado Rockies. Yeah, it's the Colorado Rockies. Well, maybe that's the wrong way to say that. The Colorado Rockies every year can make their team way better. They just always choose not to.
Yeah.
Like they should always just sign the big slug high strikeout guy. They always should. They should always get the guy that's a big masher and just own it. Like that's who you are.
Case in point, Luke Voigt opted out of his 1-year contract
Yeah.
with the Brewers. Rockies sign him.
Yeah. But actually, I think truthfully, the answer might actually be the Mariners. From an expectation perspective, the Mariners just got AJ Pollock, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they just have done a lot more than that. And I feel like the Mariners and the Orioles are the same exact kind of place, and they both didn't do a whole lot to help themselves. Right? The Orioles owner has full on said, well, we're not ready to compete yet, which is very funny because they have like incredible young talent. But yeah, I think I love to rag on the Rockies. The brothers Rockies know we have a good relationship. But truthfully, I think that like the Mariners and Orioles should have done a lot more.
I agree, but the Mariners also aren't a big payroll team. I think they feel good being an 86 win team and make it to the playoffs. Now they might, because they have a really good farm system, they might make a push. This is a wild prediction. All right,
I'm ready.
And I was going to ask you this next question. I was going to ask you a question. What do you think I'll ask you this. I'll answer this question and that'll be my follow-up question to you.
Got it.
What will be the craziest trades during the middle of the season? I think if the Brewers do not somehow in June are not in the playoff contention, they're going to trade Corbin Burns, and he's going to be a Mariner. The Mariners have an epic farm system, and they have a lot of great arms in their farm system. They're going to trade, because the Brewers love arms, they're going to trade a bunch of 3 or 4 young guys, and they're going to get Corbin Burns for 1.5 years on that staff. And that will push them over the top.
I really like that for the Mariners, obviously. But who do I think is going to be the hot mid-season trade?
And you can't say the person I'm going to...
No. I'm not going to say pick Shohei Ohtani. I have a suspicion
mainly because my next question is going to do with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I maybe it's not the hottest one, but I think it's like the saddest one. I think Jock Peterson's going to be traded again.
I don't know if that's sad.
Maybe not the saddest, but maybe it's like a little demeaning. I don't think the Giants... I'm hesitant to say the Giants will do nothing because the 2021 season was such a freak show for them from that team. But I just feel like Jock Peterson.
What are you talking about? They got Carlos Correa.
Yeah, well,
sorry,
and Arson Judge.
And Arson Judge. That's true. That's true.
It's. I think he becomes. It's maybe not the hottest one. Maybe obviously not the most talented person, but I feel like it's more indicative of that organization just not really they didn't capture lightning in a bottle. Right. It was. I think Giants were a fluke in 2021, and it ushers another 4 or 5 years of like whateverness from the Giants.
And they got rid of their veteran captain, Brandon Belt. He's now a Blue Jay.
Yeah. I'll back up. I think Joey Votto gets traded. I think Joey Votto's gonna have a great year, and I think he gets traded from the Cincinnati Reds. And I think it's gonna be a whole thing. I think it's actually I think that's gonna be the biggest one, because I think he's just talk about a guy who's like long suffering with a horrible organization, despite being very good.
Yeah,
I bet he's very good, and I bet he gets traded. And I think, the Reds owner said that if the only trade they'd accept would be if the Blue Jays wanted him, and maybe they will. But I feel like it might be the end. Like if he feels it's his last season, I think they trade him, and I think he helps whatever team needs a first baseman or DH type. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right. So my next question. Well, you asked me a question.
Which team will have lead the league in most automatic strikeouts due to violations of pitch clock?
Wow.
Basically, I'm asking, who's the slowpoke old team that's not going to conform to? I actually have an answer. I'm curious to know who's yours too.
Let's see.
And this is violations. It could be lead the league in decisive events of violation. So if it's a pitcher that walks someone by violation, or a batter who gets struck out by violation.
The Detroit Tigers.
You think the Tigers?
Yeah, it's either going to be the Tigers or the White Sox.
I'm going a completely different way. You think the Tigers or White Sox? Why do you think that?
They have an old team.
Yeah.
They both have old teams.
I think that Verlander and Scherzer intentionally do it.
Oh.
I think that's like that'll be part of like their deal. And I feel like there's a bunch of oldies on that team anyway. I feel like they would just do it. They'd be that team that would just force it. So I'm picking the New York Metropolitans.
Interesting. All right, so my next question is, what team do you think is going to have an epic fire sale?
Good question. I don't want to pick the teams that always trade people. I don't know. I still think the Blue Jays, I don't know. I don't know why I keep thinking this badly about the Blue Jays, but I just feel like they just aren't going to. I feel like if they don't do well this year, it's just going to be bad things. But their window's wide open, so maybe I shouldn't say that. Okay. I think that I do have an answer. I think the Marlins trade Sandy Alcantara. They might even trade Luis Ariz again. They might just decide to rebuild again. That's not surprising, but that's why it would be. That's why I'm picking it.
They haven't even finished their last rebuild.
Yeah.
There's only the studs left. Tear them down and rebuild the studs. Yeah.
Yeah. The Miami Marlins of Florida.
I think it's the Angels. I think if the Angels don't, because the heavy rumors the Angels owner was going to sell that team.
Yep.
And if come June, they're not even in the playoff hunt, you're going to see a Shohei trade. You might even see a Trout trade. No one's going to take Rendon, but they have a lot of interesting players that can do a lot of good. If Noah Syndergaard doesn't turn out, no, he's not on the team
He's
anymore.
a Dodger.
He's a Dodger. That's right.
He gave a home run today with Trout. So
Oh, good.
doing great over there in LA.
I just think, I think the Angels, if they don't do well by June, we're going to see a massive fire sale, and they're going to sell that team. They're going to cut that team down to bare bones. I even think a Trout might go.
Wow.
They might even do like a crazy Shohei and Trout together to empty the whole payroll.
That is a hot take.
Yeah. That or the Red Sox, because who knows what they're doing.
Next question for you, James. What team in the AL West is going to finish second?
In the AL West? Mariners.
You really don't believe in the Angels, do you?
I don't.
I think the Angels are. I think the Angels are going to do it. I think they're going to surprise people.
I want them to more than anybody else.
Yeah.
But I think they have a better shot being the second wild card team than being second place in that division.
Okay.
Because the Astros are still probably the best team in baseball.
Yeah, they did not get worse.
No, they did not.
So, interesting. Yeah, I think the Angels do it. I think the Angels. I don't know. I feel like Trout and Ohtani have tasted glory. They had the vibe. I've never been better going into this season. If Rendon's right, he's an incredible player.
Yeah.
That's just a question if he's right.
So
Yeah.
the next question is, what team in either Central Division will have the best record? I think there's one obvious answer, but...
So let's think about this. So the Guardians, the White Sox, the Royals,
The Twins.
Twins. Who am I missing from the AL Central?
Tigers.
Not the Tigers. The Comedy Central NL is the Reds, Cubs, Brewers. Who am I forgetting? Reds, Pirates. If it's someone else.
Cardinals.
I think the obvious answer is it. I don't know. Is it weird to say I don't like the Cardinals? I don't know. I just never. Nothing about the Cardinals teams have ever moved me. They have two great players in Goldie and Arenado. I get it. But the rest of it, I don't know. It just doesn't really doesn't strike me as a 100+ win team, or even it could easily be an 83 win team.
There's not a single team that you just mentioned that will win more than 85 games.
The only exception is I could see a weird Guardians team winning 96 win somehow.
They might get a giant windfall,
right?
And just oh my goodness, they're the San Francisco Giants for a couple years ago.
That team is pretty sneaky. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go the Guardians. I think the Guardians. Something about that team that is so hard to pin down. That's so reproducible. Their methodology is they're the most unique winning baseball team in all baseball. The pitching can be great to lackadaisical. But that team is just tons of speed, hyper contact. I'm going to say the Guardians. Who's your pick?
The thing is with the whole central part of this country, the Guardians are probably the best team, without a doubt. But every one of those teams, yes, they have some of the worst teams, but they're all middle of the road teams. They could all be 50-50 teams.
Yep.
Even the Reds, if they somehow Green starts pitching Hunter Green starts pitching to the guy that he's supposed to, can probably win 71 games.
Yep.
The Royals could probably win 71 games. The Tigers, if they shake off some of the dust, might get 71 games.
Yep.
The Twins can be a sneaky good team.
Yep.
Hey, they have Carlos Correa. Anyways, so there's so many, but things they're all. I think that's the weirdest part of the country right now, because they have potentially some of the worst teams, but also even the Pirates can be a surprisingly good 50-50 team this year, because they have a lot of good talent.
Yeah. Baseball can be crazy random.
Yeah.
Which is setting up my next question.
Okay.
What team is the wild card? The team that's whoa, this team's a wild card team? What team is the most shocking wild card team?
I mean, the obnoxious answer would be something like the the Pirates, but I think it would be the Royals.
I like that answer. I think they always have really good positional talent. The pitching seems to be good, but then they also give up 25 runs sometimes.
I know.
I like the Royals' answer. I wonder if, I would either pick. Is it? I think the Marlins might be. I'm gonna say the Marlins. That starting rotation has to be incredible, right?
It has to be.
They have to score more than 3 runs every game, right?
And according to your prediction, if they're not in the playoff run, they're gonna sell them all.
Yeah, I can't pick both those things. I'm going to be two sides of that.
Okay.
Either they're going to fire sale or they're getting to playoffs.
That's a fair prediction.
That rotation has to carry them to the promised land.
They have,
right?
They're too good.
Right?
They're the top 5 rotations in all baseball.
Yeah.
You and I talked about this all during the off season. Why aren't they signing why isn't Joey Votto a Marlin? Why did Josh? They're all these other guys that they're not going to be the best hitters, but at least they can hit guys.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, Marlins. It'd be fun. It would be fun to have the Marlins and Royals be wild card teams. Yeah. That'd be fun.
What star player do you think will have regress this year to the point where, oh my God, we were wrong about him the whole time?
Ooh. Part of me wants to say Corbin Burns, but I don't believe that.
I think Corbin Burns is going to have an amazing year just to show
there's
the
no way
Brewers.
he's a freak. He's going to do fine. Who's going to have the most regressed year this year? I do wonder kind of what is the sustainability of Luis Ariz. He just got traded to the Marlins.
Yeah.
I love hyper contact players. Growing up in San Diego, you have to, obviously, but I wonder for a guy who won the batting title, he pitches, he's going from the softest division in baseball to the toughest, the NL East.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, like, to go from Verlander to Soroka to Scherzer to Max Fried to Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not to mention Strider and all the other
right. You just can't tell me you're like
you can't not forget about Charlie Morton and Hunter Green from the Reds. Like he's in the Central. Sorry, but
yeah, I just feel like that might be the biggest regression, and I feel bad because I would love him to be good, but I just think that maybe whenever people leave the Centrals, I'm always like,
Fair enough. Mine, so I was going to go with Fat Muncy.
Yeah, but he already had a bad year.
But it's hard to imagine him doing any worse than he did last year.
Yeah,
he clearly showed that he was a useless player and human being. But because I'm on brand, I'm going to go with Mookie Betts.
Okay.
I think Mookie Betts doesn't hit above 250.
Wow.
I think he's going to hit at no more than 20 home runs.
Wow.
That old man is going to need a walker to get on the field every game, and he is most likely not even going to finish the year.
Wow.
That's my prediction. Mookie Betts is going to fall apart. And I'm here for it.
And you're here for it. Wow, James. Who? We're not supposed to do San Diego Padres predictions. I'm not going to. So I was going to ask who do you think is going to win? Who's going to have the most home runs in the National League? I truthfully think it's a Padre.
I do too. I legitimately think it's a Padre. I think it's going to be between Soto and Tatis Jr.
And you can say that. I'm just curious.
In the National League, It's not Harper. He's going to miss the first month and a half. It might be Schwarber. Because all that guy can do is hit home runs.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if he's ever hit a single. Like, it's home runs or strikeouts. That's his only thing he could do. So it might be Schwarber. Yeah, Schwarber. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I truthfully think it's Soto and Tatis have a good shot, but it's not a Padres prediction episode. I think sneaky pick. I think Christian Walker from the Diamondbacks.
I was going to say him, but also CJ Crone.
Yeah, I think they just go ham. And they're like, hey, can someone else sign me, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Can someone please sign me? I think they're going to go. I think they have a good chance. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to see. I like when power guys come out, not out of nowhere. Christian Walker and CJ Crone have hit 30-plus home runs before. But it'd be sneaky to have them be the NL League home run leaders.
Out of those two players, CJ Crone's the most likely to be traded.
We say that every year about Rockies, but they never get traded.
I know, but the Rockies are such a stupid team. All right, so here's my question. Because why not? Other than the Rockies, who was the worst run team in baseball?
Oh, my goodness.
What are our top 4 worst teams in baseball?
Okay, that's
Rockies are obviously the number
obviously. Maybe not obvious. I think they're for low paying team. I gotta say probably the Tigers. They've been rebuilding for 30 years. It feels like not really, but they've squandered this window pretty badly. Rockies, Tigers. I mean, the Angels have to be on that list, right?
Yeah.
For squandering this talent. And finally, who would be the 4th worst or the top 4?
It's hard to throw the Athletics in that group because that's the whole thing. We're going to suck for 4 years and be good for 2.
Yeah.
Suck for 4 years, be good for 2. So it's hard to go with that.
You know, I might be a little off kilter with one, but I think like the Rangers should have been better. I should have been better as of late. Maybe not the worst run, but I feel like if the Angels weren't in their division, a lot more criticism would go against them.
I
understand they just signed DeGrom.
I understand. Who's not going to...
They had Marcus Semien and Corey Seager and didn't hit the playoffs.
I know.
Last year. Yeah.
I think if a certain team is a middle-of-the-road team or lower, you have to throw the Red Sox in that organization.
Yeah.
They made a lot of weird moves during the offseason, and they were one of the wealthiest owners in all sports.
Yeah.
And they did nothing.
I mean, they traded Mookie Betts for nothing.
Yeah, they signed Justin Turner. I mean, my goodness. I can move faster than Justin Turner. Like, the man has 9 braces on at all times because all of his joints are going to fall off. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's a good call out because they fumbled the bag with Xander Bogaerts. They fumbled the bag with Mookie Betts, and it just seems like they're all. I also am like really sick of teams trying to be the Rays. I'm like over it.
Yeah,
just really over it because it's just like not a very fun brand of baseball to watch. No offense to the Rays, but like the Rays and Athletics have to do that because they have $2 in their bank account.
Exactly.
But when you have like multi-billion-dollar companies be like, we gotta find wins by beating funky lineups. No, you don't. Just have 6 good players. It'll do wonders.
Exactly.
3 good pitchers, 6 good players. Whoa, here we go.
But that's just it. Like,
yeah,
the Red Sox have a Yankees payroll.
Right.
They don't need this. They did nothing during the offseason.
Yeah.
Like, I legitimately thought they were going to have Carlos Correa at one point, too.
That's funny. Rapid fire, James. Cy Young, AL.
AL? Shohei.
MVP AL.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Wow, I like that pick.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year.
Is that guy from Baltimore? Did he play enough
Grayson
games?
Rodriguez. He'll probably. Oh, you mean Adley Rushman?
Yeah.
He played enough last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. He finished second.
Yeah.
The problem with the rookies of the year is I don't pay enough attention to it enough to follow
That's fine.
along. I would assume I don't know.
I can tell you who I assume the teams will be.
Who?
It'll either be a Oriole, or it'll be a Diamondback. We'll have rookies of the year.
Yeah, the guy I really want to win rookie of the year is that Masela guy from the Nationals, who's a 30-year-old rookie who played 20 games.
Yeah.
So I really want to win rookie of the year just because it's like, come on, make a movie out of him.
Yeah, I like those picks. I would say, I think Shohei. I think he's got to win a Cy Young at some point.
Yeah.
Why not now?
And if he wins a Cy Young, it's like, okay, he's as good as everyone thinks he is.
Yeah. I mean, he already is as good as everyone says.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Any other predictions, James? Any other questions for me before we...
Well, who do you think is going to win the Cy Young in the National League other than Blake Snell? Who's going to finish second in the Cy Young Award?
I like that. Thank you. I think Sandy Alcantara repeats it. Dude is so good. The dude is if DeGrom could pitch every game for 8 innings.
Yeah.
That's Sandy Alcantara. Like, he has durability.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just that makes him, he could have a higher year rate than DeGrom, but he pitches 100 more innings. And guess what? That's more valuable. I think Sandy repeats it.
MVP, second MVP in National League. Well, no, third in MVP.
Yeah, third MVP. That's right. Because it's the first 2-way tie in MVP history.
Well, no, it's definitely Machado's going to be in the top two.
Yeah.
Soto and Tatis.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who
we
do I
might even
think-
have a top five.
Yeah. You know, if Trey Turner didn't go to the NL East, I would say he's a sleeper pick. But the same reason why I said why a Rise is going to do badly, I just think that league division is pretty tough. You know, I'm going to say who am I going to say? I wonder if this is a I don't know. Okay, I think I know what it is. I think I'm going to pick another Diamondback. I think there's a potential that our Don Quixote rookie could also win the MVP. And here's why. Bigger bases, no shift. He has power. He plays in Coors Field and Chase Field all the time. The dude could potentially hit 30 plus home runs and have 100 stolen bases.
Yeah, probably.
And I think that can captivate voters. And that might be a crazy prediction, but we might see a different brand of baseball, and he might be the front runner to that. I think he's pretty much the only guy that can do that. I know it's like maybe I'm familiar with NL West, but I guess I would love it if an MVP, if someone got MVP votes because they played that like hyper aggressive stolen base brand of
I agree.
baseball.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Bring that game back to baseball.
Right.
That would be cool. And that would be. I mean, Rob Manfred would be so happy that happened.
Right.
So real quickly, who do you think is going to win every division?
Potter didn't win NL West.
Well, of course.
Obviously. NL Central. NL
Central.
The Cubs should just be better. We haven't mentioned them at all. They just should be better.
They should be.
They have a really good first baseman, though, I hear.
Why I can't even consider them as a team. Oh my goodness. Talk about a team Voit should go on.
Yeah. Dude, Voit would kill him. Voit would kill Eric Hosmer. He's like, you ruined my chance for me in the postseason.
It would probably be the Cardinals.
Yeah, I would say it's just the Brewers. I just feel like should have gotten more offense, but they didn't.
I know.
And Yelich is a shell of himself.
It's very telling that Voit left. He opted
Yeah.
out of his contract.
So I think it's probably the Cardinals. Yeah, NL East is the hardest division in baseball to predict. We've talked about this off the air that a good Marlins team can give that division a complete nightmare. It makes it a complete nightmare.
I still think the best team in that division is the Braves.
That young talent is just so good.
I think the Braves are the best talent. I think all the money that the Mets have spent, hey, they had Carlos Correa as well. I think all the money they spent, they're still not as good as the Braves, and the Phillies can still beat them. I mean, there is a. We live in a world where the Mets might not even make it to the playoffs, and they might not make it to the playoffs and have 90 wins.
Yeah, that division is just stacked. I don't know. I agree with you.
Here for it to listen to all those Mets fans whine.
I agree. I'd probably pick the Braves. Like, truthfully, if I had a bet, I just think that young core is just so good, and Spencer Strider might be the real deal.
I can't think of a single weakness in their lineup.
Yeah, I think it's. They traded away a plus defender plus catcher because they had too many plus catchers, plus defender plus hitter catchers.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Whoa. All right.
AL West. It's the Astros. Like, what are we doing here, dude? I hate that. I hate it so much. But they built a perfect team.
I mean, the best part about the WBC is Jose Altuve broke his hand.
Wow.
And you can't tell me that wasn't intentional.
Yeah. AL Central. Anybody?
Guardians.
It has to be the Guardians.
Guardians, and again,
It could be a dogfight. That could be just like a
Guardians and the Twins.
Like a gross dogfight. Not like a whoa, that was vicious, like whoa.
Two dogs from a Sarah McLachlan commercial. kind of like going back and forth on a tiny little bone.
But gun to my head, I'd say Guardians.
Yeah.
AL East.
The Blue Jays.
Blue Jays. I'm going to go Tampa Bay Rays. I think.
You say them every year.
I do say them every year. I always believe in their weirdness.
But you just said you are over the Tampa Bay.
I am over it. But I just look at the best. I just look at pitching now. That's how I am. I'm just a pitching man. I'm just looking at who are the three horses. And I think if the Yankees, for whatever reason, have like the most injury-prone rotation in baseball, and I understand their lineup can mash. I get that. Noted. But I just think that there's like holes in the health of their starting pitchers. I don't know how much Nestor Cortez is a real deal. I just know the Rays, they produce, they find the weirdest pitchers, and they pitch like Cy Youngs for 3 weeks, and they just do that every 3 weeks. And I just feel like they're just going to do it. Randy Arozarena's feeling good. Wander Franco's feeling good. I don't know. I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
I always pick them.
You always do.
But I'm excited. Baseball's here, James.
I know. Thursday.
I'm excited. It sounds stupid. I'm excited for it to be June to be like, which of these baseball games should I watch? Like, going to be so overstimulated in baseball on Thursday. I'm very excited about it. And then, we are going to be talking about Padres baseball on opening day or day after opening day. When the roster finally settles.
And the first game is played. We're going to have a reaction to the first game.
Let's hope it's better than last year.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, when was the last time the Padres opened a season at Petco? It's been a couple years.
Wasn't it last year?
No, we opened in the Diamondbacks.
When was the last time we were in Petco?
To open the season. It's been a couple years.
Probably 2019.
Yeah.
Right, probably when Tatis premiered. with Machado and Paddock. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to it. Baseball's back. Until next time, James, go Padres.
Go Padres.
And there it is! Ho-ho, doctor! You can hang a star on that, baby!